Hi guys, this is Gene Jensen with BassResource.com. I've been getting a lot of comments and questions on my basic drop shot video, and I've been wanting to do a more advanced one for, well, since I made that one. So I'm gonna dig in today and dig into the details of a drop shot rig and all the things that you can do with it, or some of the things you can do with it. Start off with, this is your basic drop shot rig. 6-8 pound test fluorocarbon, 3/8 ounce weight. Above the weight is your number 1 or 1/0. I use octopus hooks, but you can use a drop shot hook or whatever. And then your soft plastic above the hook. Nice medium light rod, 6/8, 7 foot rod. But have you ever thought about the other things that you can do with a drop shot rig? Because what a drop shot rig is, all it is a sinker below the hook on the line. That's it. So if you keep that in mind, you can come up with all kinds of different ways that you can use it. Here's one of the ways I rig it. This is a medium heavy rod. You got 15 pound test line on it. A Revo STX reel, and so I've got a 1/2 ounce weight and a worm hook above it. And this is a 4/0 Gamakatsu, and it's got a rage craw on it, but you can use any kind of soft plastic, worms or creature baits or anything, and it's a blast. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. Use it like a Carolina rig. Throw it across a point, drag it, shake it, and drag it and shake it. And the advantage to that over a Carolina rig is you don't have to move it towards you to get the bait moving. You can leave it in one spot so it stays in the strike zone longer. And if you got those fish that are really finicky, or those fish that aren't quite turned on, you can shake it in front of their nose for a little while. You can use it bed fishing. You can use it flipping cover, things like that. When I flip cover, one of the things I do is I'll actually tie it onto my jig rod, which has got 20 pound test fluorocarbon on it, and I'll shorten the leader up from 18 to 20 inches down to 5, 6, 7 inches, so I don't get it hung up as much when I get it into the cover. And you just think about it, and all the things that you can do with any other rig, you can just about do it with a drop shot rig. You just play around with your leader length and the type of hook you're using. Now, in my basic drop shot video that I made a couple years ago, you'll see that I show one way of setting the hook. And the reason I showed, the way that I showed that set the hook is you just lift into it and you reel, and the hook sets itself. Well, if you look at a basic drop shot rig, you've got an open light wire hook. That's why you don't really need to set the hook. But what I've noticed over the last several years is a lot of people that use a drop shot a lot have gone to using a standard offset worm hook, or a wide gap hook, or any kind of a worm hook where they can Texas rig the worm. And when you do that, you got to take into consideration the hook set. You've got to be able to punch that hook through that worm and into the fish, so you're actually going to set the hook, not super hard. If you've got a light wire worm hook, you'll just reel down to it and lift up and set the hook. If you're using a heavier gauge hook and heavier line, you're going to set it even harder. And you got to take into consideration how well you're setting the hook, and the fact that you're not going to set it too hard to break the line. Anyway, we're going to get out on the lake today. I'm gonna kind of fish the different Carolina rigs, or the different drop shot rigs that I have set up. I'm going to fish one like a Carolina rig, I'm going to fish one like a jig, and I'm going to show you the versatility of the drop shot. So sit back and hopefully we can catch 1 or 2 fish. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how I use it for pitching and flipping. What I have is a 1/2 ounce drop shot weight with your rage craw, and I'm just going to flip it over here to these sticks and see what happens. I'm just going to kind of work it around and show you guys. You just flip it you pitch it just like you would a jig. And the cool thing is you get down there at the bottom and you just shake it. And you can leave it in the strike zone longer. All kinds of stuff. The hard thing for me to do when I'm pitching this is actually keeping it in the same spot. I'm so used to fishing a jig in this type of cover, is that I want to pick the weight up off the bottom. So you got to remember, for me, I've got to remember I'm actually fishing a drop shot rig, and I can keep it shaking, popping up and down when I'm instead of like I would with a jig. And you notice that I was able to keep the bait in the strike zone a little bit better, a little bit longer, and then finally that fish decided it was going to eat. All right, and that's how I do it, flipping and pitching. Now let's talk about a Carolina rig, or how I use it in the place of a Carolina rig. I'll lengthen up my tag line to about 18 to 20 inches. Make sure that my soft plastic is rigged Texas style, or Texas rigged with the hook weedless. And I'm just going to make long casts in an area just like I would a Carolina rig. But instead of dragging and stopping and dragging and stopping, I've already got a bait that's coming up and falling down, and it doesn't even have to move. Let it fall back down, and it's still, I haven't moved it, I'm just shaking it. The boat's moving this way, so I've got to keep my slack up. And I'm just shaking it. And I drag it 4 or 5 feet, and I'm shaking it. And you can fish an area methodically, slow, and the trick is when you drag it up and you feel something, feel a rock or a stump or a log or something, with your weight, your bait's already over top of it. And so you can sit there and shake it on top of that rock, or shake it on top of whatever it is you hit. And if there's a fish holding on that rock or that stump, many times it can't stand something just sitting in front of its nose. It's too easy of a meal. It makes a pretty good bottom bait, especially when you're looking for scattered rocks or scattered stumps on like a long point or a flat or something like that. You just drag it around until you feel a stump, and then you can just shake it in front of their nose. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope that this video kind of broadens your mind of what the versatility of a drop shot can be. It's basically up to your own imagination, and like I said, just have fun with it and enjoy catching fish with it. But like I always say, visit bassresource.com for the answer to all your questions about bass fishing. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Press the like button on this video. It helps people find it a little bit better. And have a great day of fishing. Take care.